In some ways, suffering ceases to be suffering at the moment it finds a meaning. Suffering is an inescapable part of the human experience. It touches every life, presenting challenges and hardships that can feel overwhelming. The question then arises, how can we not only endure, but transform our pain into a source of strength and growth? This question is central to psychiatrist Viktor Frankl's teachings, developed through his experiences as a Holocaust survivor. Frankl's enduring message, captured in his words, "When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves," offers a radical perspective on human resilience. In this video, we'll explore Frankl's approach to finding meaning amidst life's darkest moments. To truly grasp the power of Viktor Frankl's ideas, we must first understand the crucible in which they were forged. Born in 1905 in Vienna, Austria, Frankl showed an early fascination with the workings of the human mind. He trained as a psychiatrist, but his life's trajectory took a grim turn with the rise of Nazi Germany. During this time, he lost his wife, his parents, and his brother to the camps. Frankl himself teetered daily on the edge of death, facing starvation, disease, and the constant threat of the gas chambers. Yet even in this abyss of human suffering, Frankl made a discovery that would revolutionize our understanding of resilience. He observed that among his fellow prisoners, those who maintained a sense of purpose, who found meaning even in their torment, were the ones most likely to survive. This wasn't mere physical endurance, but a psychological resilience born from an inner sense of purpose. From these harrowing experiences, Frankl developed logotherapy, a form of psychotherapy that places the search for meaning at the core of human motivation. Unlike some other psychological theories that see humans as primarily driven by pleasure or power, logotherapy posits that our deepest desire is to find significance in our lives. Central to logotherapy is the concept Frankl termed tragic optimism, which is the ability to maintain hope and find meaning even in the face of what Frankl called the tragic triad: pain, guilt, and death. It's a recognition that suffering is an inevitable part of life, but our response to that suffering is what defines us. Frankl argued that we can find meaning in life in three primary ways: through our actions and creations, through our experiences and relationships, and through our attitude towards unavoidable suffering. This last point is particularly powerful. It suggests that even when we can't change our circumstances, we still have the freedom to choose our response. He knew that by finding meaning in our suffering, by viewing it as a challenge to overcome, we can transform it. Suffering is often seen as an unwelcome intruder, something to be banished at all costs. We pursue comfort, security, and happiness, believing that a good life is one where pain is a stranger. Yet, Viktor Frankl's experiences and insights challenge this notion in a way that can transform our understanding of what it means to truly live. Frankl, having endured the unimaginable horrors of Nazi concentration camps, came to a startling realization when he wrote, "If there is meaning in life at all, then there must be meaning in suffering. Suffering is an ineradicable part of life, even as fate and death. Without suffering and death, human life cannot be complete." This is not to glorify suffering, but to recognize its inextricable role in our existence. We all face losses, failures, illnesses, and ultimately, our own mortality. To attempt to avoid all suffering is not only futile, but can lead to a life that, while comfortable on the surface, lacks depth and true fulfillment. Instead of fleeing from suffering, Frankl encourages us to face it with courage and curiosity, to search within it for the seeds of meaning. This doesn't mean we should seek out suffering. Rather, when suffering finds us, as it inevitably will, we have the power to choose our response. As Frankl states, "Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way." In this choice lies our potential for growth, for deepening our compassion, for clarifying what truly matters in our lives. When we find meaning, even in our darkest hours, we discover a resilience and a richness of experience that no amount of comfort or security can provide. As Frankl once wrote, "Life is never made unbearable by circumstances, but only by lack of meaning and purpose." Viktor Frankl's teachings offer practical strategies for transforming pain into strength. Cultivating a future-oriented mindset is a cornerstone of Frankl's approach. He believed that having a goal or vision for the future could help individuals endure present hardships. As he eloquently put it, man does not simply exist, but always decides what his existence will be, what he will become in the next moment. This perspective shifts our focus from the pain of our current circumstances to the potential growth and meaning that lie ahead. Consider someone grappling with a difficult career transition. The present might be filled with uncertainty, financial stress, and self-doubt, but by envisioning a future where they are engaged in meaningful work that aligns with their values, they create a beacon of hope. This future-oriented mindset also involves embracing pain and discomfort as integral parts of growth. As Frankl poignantly stated, "What is to give light must endure burning," meaning, just as a candle must endure the flame to provide illumination, we must often endure discomfort to grow stronger and wiser. This principle is vividly demonstrated in physical training. An athlete understands that the burn of exercise, the strain of pushing past limits, is precisely what builds strength and endurance. The same holds true in our emotional and spiritual growth. The discomfort of confronting a fear, the pain of healing from past traumas, the challenge of standing up for our values, these are the burnings that forge our resilience, deepen our self-understanding, and ultimately allow us to give light to others. Another crucial practice in this process is mindfulness. As Frankl once wrote, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom." Mindfulness, the practice of non-judgmental awareness of the present moment, helps us access this space. It allows us to observe our pain without being consumed by it, to acknowledge our instinctive reactions without being controlled by them. Another central concept that Frankl highlighted is self-transcendence. It is a powerful path for turning personal pain into universal strength. As he wrote, "The more one forgets himself, by giving himself to a cause to serve or another person to love, the more human he is and the more he actualizes himself." Self-transcendence involves looking beyond our own suffering to focus on something greater. It doesn't diminish our pain, rather it expands its meaning. Our individual suffering becomes part of a larger tapestry of human experience, a catalyst for compassion and collective resilience. In reaching out to others, in committing to causes larger than ourselves, we paradoxically find our deepest strength and self-actualization. In this way, through choosing our response to adversity, we turn suffering into a driving force for personal development, helping uncover our true potential and foster a meaningful life.